Well, you're speaking of execution. What are the key factors to finishing with a win today?
Well, number one, when we move the football and get in the red zone, no turnovers and have to score points. And we've got to be consistent on defense and try to create a couple.
Coach, good luck.
Thank you.
He's done this rodeo before against the Louisville Cardinals. They have dominated this series of late. They have won 3 consecutive, and here comes Scott Satterfield and his Louisville Cardinals to an ovation of boos, as you might expect, here in Lexington. Series began back in 1912, but wasn't really renewed until 1994 after that 70-year hiatus. And since they've renewed it and started playing for the Governor's Cup, Kentucky leads the series 15-12. So pretty evenly matched series between these two teams. So glad you could join us today. Dave Neal, Deuce McAllister, Andrea Carter, and Deuce, when you begin to look at these rivalry games, of course, you played in a bunch of them when you were at Ole Miss against Mississippi State in the Egg Bowl. What's it like as a player knowing you're wrapping up the regular season and especially against your rival?
Well, I think it's about going out there and finishing, and you want to finish on the right foot. You talked about Will Levis having some success, being banged up and down, and you look at Louisville quarterback Cunningham. He's in the same boat. I mean, he's been banged up himself, probably hadn't had the numbers overall that he would want his senior year. I mean, so both of these guys will lean on their quarterbacks to be able to go out there and try to lead them to victory.
And there is Brock Doman, who will get the start today. Malik Cunningham is dressed out. They expect to use him some today. How much, yet to be determined. But we do know Malik will be available after warming up today. It was a game-time decision. So they'll go with Doman, who got the win last week against NC State. Went 12 of 25 through the air. But this is a team that also will be without Tyon Evans, who did not even make the trip. Unavailable today, obviously. Chris Rodriguez is available for Kentucky, and you can bet they will rely on him a great deal today. When Kentucky runs the ball effectively, generally good things happen. So Louisville won the toss. They defer. Kentucky will get the football first, and they'll work left to right. Barion Brown, who had a huge game against Georgia last weekend, back to return the kick. The true freshman out of Nashville, Tennessee. Brock Travelstead will kick it away. It's a short kick taken around the 12-yard line. Out to the 25 before stood up there. Cavassier smoke on that return. So Will Levis, who has just battled injuries, whether it's a toe, a shoulder, you name it, he has had it this year. And you see the percentage still pretty good, 66%. Numbers look pretty good. But the one area that really has limited Kentucky and Will this year is the inability to run the football. Yeah, his inability to be able to create. And when you talk about off-platform throws or being able to run, just to be able to move in the pocket, he has not been able to do that, the complete season just because of all of those injuries. That's something that he will have to do today against this defense. Line up in that shotgun. Rodriguez to his right. They'll shift a couple of tight ends from right to left from that far hash. Louisville's defense has been really good second half of this season, and the first play goes to Rodriguez, and he is stopped right there and may have lost a yard. So Will Levis last year against Louisville, 113 yards on the ground and 4 rushing touchdowns. This defense for Louisville averaging less than 20 points a game allowed. They're at 19.6 points per game. Cardinals bringing some heat. Levis is hit. He is belted right around the waistline. And that one sails up and away, and it'll be 3rd down and 10.
Dave, right away, that's a hit on the quarterback just because they don't have enough guys to that side, and so the protection slid the other way and your center is uncovered, so he's not picking up anybody, and that's why you have the pressure off of the slide, and right away you see that football also sail on Will Levis.
Jarvis Brownlee getting in there, causing some disruption in that Kentucky offense. 3rd down and 10, and there's some movement. You can make it 3rd down and about 15 now.
False start. Offense number 77. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Jeremy Flax, your right tackle, he's early coming out, and you can see right at the end of that play, your quarterback is barking at him, telling him he's got to sit in there. He's got to sit in there and be able to lock in, and so you get so much calls coming from the sideline. It's hard for those offensive linemen to be able to sit in there too long.
3 receivers near side. Again, pressure comes. They will get the pass off to Brown. Breaks the tackle. He's out over the 30 to the 34. He'll be a yard shy. A gain of 14. Boy, almost broke that one for a big, big gain.
And you can see them, they're going to check screen a lot just because of all of the pressure that you do get from Louisville. And right now, that offensive line has to get off the field. They're going to kick it here. I know those guys felt like that they wanted to go for it, but I mean, that's a pretty good job of being able to retrack and tackle Brown off of that screen.
Wilson Berry will punt this away.
Going to have to call a timeout. Louisville is. They didn't have a returner. They had defensive state out on the field, and the returner didn't know. Smith didn't know if he was going to be on the field or the safety was going to stay out there.
So the first time out of the game, kind of confusion on both sides, forcing the timeout by Louisville and Scott Satterfield. But certainly Kentucky hoping to finish on a positive note. Of course, bowl game coming up down the road. Both these teams headed into the college football postseason. But Louisville really the team that people have been talking about in terms of how hot they have been down the stretch. And there were some issues defensively with Louisville early in the year. But, boy, they have fixed those problems.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it's the assortment of pressures that they're able to bring and be able to get after quarterbacks. I think it's also mixing up guys as far as how they get to the quarterback is also key for Louisville.
Yeah, they have 2 of the best defensive ends going in the country right now, as they have forced a punt from the Wildcats, taken there by Braden Smith. They'll spot it back at the 24-yard line. So good stop for Louisville to get the football to their offense. And this is an offense that comes in averaging 28.5 points a game. That's 7th in the ACC. Kentucky's defense has been pretty stout as well. They're giving up less than 20 points a game. Matter of fact, they've held 14 of their last 15 opponents to 24 points or less. So Brock Doman getting the football today. Last week versus NC State, he completed 12 of 25 for 153 yards. He also rushed it for 26 yards. A handoff goes to Jawan Jordan, who had such a big game last week against the Wolfpack. 16 for 105. Of course, had the kick return. A couple of 100-yard games for him on the ground. Not a big guy, but boy, he is not afraid to get his nose in there. 5'10", 180. Out of that pistol formation. Doman to throw. Pass is caught there. Boy, nice little shaky move. Marshawn Ford, the tight end, making the catch. He's now caught a pass at 36 straight.
Really nice job there by Jordan, also picking up the pressure. And you talk about Ford being able to catch it and get upfield to be able to get that first down.
Ford goes in motion. They'll hand it off. Little spin move there from Jordan. Pick up a couple of yards. Carrington Valentine brings him down. Carrington, the junior out of Cincinnati. You see where Louisville ranks second in the conference in rushing yards, but red zone has been really their issue in terms of putting the ball in the end zone. Kind of a statement that both teams have had to deal with this year. Trevin Wallace bringing down Huggins Bruce. 3rd down. Kentucky making some wholesale changes defensively on this 3rd down and 11. They'll run it left side with Jordan. He's hit at the 40 and dropped there. DeAndre Square, who has been out for 3 games with a banged up ankle. Doing all he can to get on the field for this senior day game. A graduate out of Detroit, Michigan with the tackle. Barion Brown back at the 15 to return the punt.
David, you saw on the initial kickoff, they kicked it short so he couldn't touch it. Wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't get hang time here. This football is probably going out of bounds.
Angling it near side, wobbly kick that will take a favorable Louisville bounce around the 15-yard line. Oh, some fisticuffs. Oh, some pushing and shoving and a little bit more going on down there around the 10-yard line. Just saying hello. Asking him how that Thanksgiving dinner went, I'm sure. Cats have the football when we come back. Presented by Allstate. We're here at Kroger Field in Lexington. Overcast day, but temperatures very comfortable in the upper 50s. 25th ranked Louisville, Kentucky scoreless. Second possession for the Cats. They will start just inside the 15-yard line. Both teams have had to punt it away on their opening possessions. Here's Rodriguez with a little stutter step, and he is wrapped up after about a 3-yard gain. Obviously, Deuce, this is the numbers that jump out when you start looking at this game. Kentucky's been giving up a ton of sacks, nearly dead last in the FBS, and nobody's been better at getting sacks than this Louisville defense.
Hey, you talk about 41 sacks overall, leading the nation, and Kentucky giving up right at 4 sacks per game. I mean, that's a true contrast. That's why you have to be able to run the football and get positive yards on first down. You can't put yourself behind the chains in this matchup.
Louisville also second in the country in turnovers gained at 28. Oh, wide open. Pass caught out over the 30 to the 40. It's a long run for Kattus, the freshman, down the near sideline. Dropped inside the 15. Josh Meekins chases him down, but not before a 69-yard pickup.
Yeah, you have lost coverage in here, and the tight end, he does a nice job of just being able to leak out, and Levis, off of that play action, he's able to find it, and you talk about going almost for 6 there.
The flag came in late, some pushing and shoving at the end of that play. Referee Jeff Flanagan out of the ACC. This is an ACC crew
Play
today.
made a first down after the play. Personal fouls on both teams. Number 13 on the defense. Number 31 on the offense. Those fouls will offset. First down.
So no damage done at this point. And a huge pickup by Kentucky. Kattus, big day for the Kattus family. His dad was a tight end at Michigan. Michigan right now leading Ohio State. His son just made a big play here in the Louisville-Kentucky game.
Makes for a pretty proud family there.
So first down and 10. They'll go 2 tight end set again. Rodriguez to the right of Levis. Hand it to Rodriguez. He'll kick it to the outside. To the 5. Lowers his shoulder. And 3 Cardinals run him out of bounds around the 2, led by Montgomery, the first one there. That'll be a gain of 11.
Really nice job by Manning being able to seal that edge for him, and then you have Rodriguez to be able to just find that C gap and be able to exploit it. You lose containment by that Louisville defense, and Rodriguez a big physical back that can punish those defenders.
It'll be first down and goal. You see the red zone numbers. Last year they were so good. 72%. This year less than 60%. Ball sits at the 2. Levis keeps it, drives to the end zone. Touchdown, Kentucky.
Just taking a look at it, you see Will Levis, and that was probably one that you probably want to give to that tailback, but he's so big and physical That looked like there was a flag on that play. Illegal formation by Kentucky is going to bring that touchdown back. But you can see this is what this Kentucky offense has been missing, and it's Will Levis being able to run the football, that added dimension of him being able to keep it himself. That's what they've been missing as a team, not just in the red zone.
Yeah, so the illegal formation pushes the ball back outside the 5-yard line to the 7, so wave off the touchdown. Cats will have to try it again. There goes Brown in motion. Hand off Rodriguez. He stood up right in the middle of that line of scrimmage. Darian Jones leading the charge for Louisville.
Well, you can just see the movement by that Louisville defense there. And, you know, we talked about Chris Rodriguez being a physical back. I don't know about taking on 3 guys, and that's exactly what that Louisville Cardinal defense had. They had 3 guys right there sitting in the hole and nothing that Rodriguez could do.
Jones, the redshirt sophomore out of Plantation, Florida, filling that gap, and it's 2nd down and goal. Big play was the 69-yard catch and run by Josh Kattus. Levis to throw, a little sidearm action, touchdown, Dane Key. The true freshman from right here in Lexington with his 6th touchdown reception of the year from 8 yards out. Plays 86 yards. Ruffalo to attempt the point after. That operation is clean, and Kentucky takes a 7-0 lead.
Yeah, just a nice job on this slant route. He wins at the line of scrimmage, and he is way too physical. That's going to be 6 for Kentucky.
I'm talking to Jerry, just a big personality, just great to be around. Certainly miss him when we come here to the University of Kentucky. You see the 2 guys with the big catches. Key with a touchdown reception. It was Kattus with that 70-yard reception. Matter of fact, that equals the longest pass of the season for Kentucky. Levis hit Barion Brown against Northern Illinois with a 70-yarder. And a 7-0 game here. With that, let's get an update with PB. What's going on, buddy?
Just chaos. How about this? Up in Columbus, Michigan, up 24-20. J.J. McCarthy getting it done. That is a touchdown, Michigan. Driving as well, too. Up 31-20. And how about South Carolina on the road? Haven't beat the Tigers in Death Valley since 2012. Marcellus Dial with the interception. Gamecocks up 1.
After the play, personal foul from 77 receiving team. The penalty is half the distance to the goal from the 25-yard line. 1st and 10.
Well, we got some chaos here, too. We've had a bunch of pushing and shoving, and the flags have started to come out quite regularly with this personal foul stuff. Hopefully they'll clean that up. Once that emotion kind of gets out of the way, you can start playing some football.
Well, and you see how the officials are going to call it. I mean, I think they were going to let a little bit of that go on early, but I mean, I think when those guys kind of take it overboard, they'll tighten down, and hopefully you just have football from that standpoint.
That'll back it up inside the 15 to the 12. Maurice Turner, the true freshman, in at running back. They'll work the right side with him. Stutter steps. Nice run out to the 20-yard line. Give him 7 on that. Maurice Turner on the year, 27 carries, 121 yards, but without Tyon Evans available today, they're going to have to find somebody to carry the football. But again, if you're joining us, Malik Cunningham, 5th-year senior quarterback who's been banged up, is in uniform. We expect to see him at some point today as Doman's pass is incomplete. He was trying to hit Turner out of the backfield.
We talked about it, just a halfback shoot type of play, just a flat route to your tailback, but there's pressure off of the edge, and there's really nothing from your quarterback that he could do.
You saw Cunningham there. Helmet is strapped up. He looked ready to go, but so far it's Doman. And he'll try to get the first down here. It's 3rd and 3 for the Cards. Doman coming near side. He will put it in the left arm and try to run for it. It's all about the spot. DeAndre Square chasing him down. They're going to say he's just shy of the line to gain. They might bring the chains in for this one. We don't get a whole lot of chains coming in to measure stuff anymore.
No, not a lot of it. I mean, they're going to go really by the naked eye, but they want to get a good version of it. And Coach Satterfield, he called for this measurement as well, and the official are going to oblige. Dave, I think they're short.
Ooh, by a quarter of a football.
And I would have been wrong.
Excuse me. They got the first down. So Doman, who gives you a little bit of the run game. He's a big boy, 6'2", 228, the transfer from Independence Community College in Kansas. They kind of were in an area where they just needed some bodies to fill up the quarterback room. He was available and shows up, and little did he know what kind of role he would play, especially behind Malik Cunningham, but injuries have forced him onto the field. They'll kick it to the outside, and that'll be a gain of 9 on the play. Turner showing you why they like him, and the future's so bright. 5'10", 185-pounder.
Yeah, second run, and really split zone. And the second time you've seen him be able to just bounce it outside. Just really nice job of patience and being able just to find that soft spot in the zone.
They'll play fake it here. Doman going up top. A flag comes out around midfield. Just wonder if Carrington Valentine might have grabbed a jersey.
Holding defense, number 14. Penalty is 10 yards from the previous spot. It carries an automatic first down.
Take another look at it. Looks like just a go route, and right there the jersey, you can see him just pulling on it and grabbing it. I mean, because when you look at it, there's really not a lot of separation, but it's hard probably to get separation when you're being tugged by the shoulder pad there up top.
Handoff right side, big hole. There goes Jordan. First down inside Kentucky territory at the 36-yard line.
Little outside zone, nice job of that Louisville offensive line being able to block guys up. And I mean, you get up to the third level with no one touching. That's a really nice job up front by Louisville.
Doman. He will loft it up toward the end zone, and it's incomplete. Don't forget, coming up at 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central, right here on this SEC network, and of course always on the ESPN app, the 117th meeting between 10th-ranked Tennessee and Vanderbilt. Vols looking to bounce back, of course, after that very tough loss last weekend. Just on Tennessee-like, didn't see that one coming. Joe Milton gets the start at quarterback. Commodores trying to get bowl eligible. Back-to-back conference win for Clark Lee and company, coming up 7:30 Eastern tonight. Another nice run from Jordan. He'll go inside the 30 down to the 29-yard line, a gain of 7.
See the combination blocks, and second time they go to the opposite side with the outside zone. Dave, just going back to that other play as far as the scramble drill, Doman is going to be upset at himself because he had Ford open in the slot, and Ford was running a square in, and he never saw him, ended up throwing a go route. But I mean, he's going to be upset because he was uncovered for a while.
Renato Brown moves from the left side to the right side of that offensive line. They'll hand it off. Jordan breaking a couple of tackles, first down to the 22-yard line. Boy, Jordan's really taken over the run game for this Louisville team. Last 3 games, he's averaging almost 100 yards a game at 98 a clip. Just a redshirt sophomore. An explosive player in the return game as well, with a couple of kickoff returns for touchdowns in his career. Turner back in the game at running back, but Doman looking to throw. Lofts it up. This one almost picked off around the 10-yard line. Deion Walker, the 330-pound defensive tackle, came in unabated at the quarterback, forcing Doman to kind of like, I don't know if he tipped it or not, but it was an awkward-looking pass.
It was definitely an awkward-looking pass, and there was penetration right away, and they're trying to run a wheel route with your tailback out of the backfield, and that ball did get tipped. I mean, but you look at it, you turn into a defensive back for you, and that's exactly what Turner was able to do to break that pass up.
On second down, they'll run it stuffed. May have lost a yard. Deion Walker, the big man who has started the last 6 games. That is a big boy, folks. That is 6'6", 330 looking at you.
That is a playmaker right there. You talk about NFL caliber player coming in and doing some of the things that he's been able to do as a freshman, and you can see him just win at the point of attack, and there's nothing Louisville could do with him on the last 2 plays.
Third down and 11. Over the middle. Pass is caught. Wrapped up around the 12-yard line is Maurice Turner. Nice play design. Well, you had Braden Smith kind of running around. Looked like you were going to go that direction. Pump fake it there. Come back over the middle to Turner. First down.
And you can look at it, it's almost like a delayed screen. He ends up just going outside, and then he comes back inside, and angle route, but it was because of the movement by the quarterback. It looks like he's blocking the edge. No one is there. He releases inside, and then his ability to be able to make a couple people miss.
Running on the field was a first down. That play is under further review.
And I think his knee may have went down, and then he rolled over. So this is probably maybe a little bit closer as well. I mean, because when he goes down, I think it's his left knee hits before he gets that actual first down.
Well, while they review the spot, we'll step aside. Back in a moment. They have determined that Louisville was short of the line to gain by, you could say, a yard, maybe a little less. So it'll be 4th down and a yard officially. And it looks like the Cards are going to keep their offense on the field. They've been running it really well on this drive.
Done a nice job running it. Really, it's been the outside plays as far as outside zone that they've had the most success with. Inside, you had a couple times you talk about Walker kind of making his presence known as well.
7 carries, 54 yards rushing on this drive alone. Louisville, you see the numbers on 4th downs, not very good, 123rd in the country. Need less than a yard. They will hand it off to Jordan, and he is stopped. They're going to spot him around the 13.5-yard line. He needed to get it near the 12. And how about Jaquez Jones? We weren't sure if he was going to get in the game today. He has been out with an injury. The second half of this season, he's missed 5 games. The Ole Miss transfer, sitting on 299 tackles, just made his 300th career stop, and it was a big one.
Yeah, and he just does a nice job. You talk about being able to shoot the gap, and it's going to be about the twist and the turn, because he was able to twist your tailback there, and does his knee hit? I mean, because if it doesn't hit, then he's going to pick up that first down. But if he does touch the ground at all, Jaquez Jones made an outstanding play. He just shot the gap. It's exactly what it was. They tried to run a split zone inside, and Jones was able to just make that play in the backfield. Offensive lineman not able to get up off of that double team to pick him up.
He has missed the last 5 games, but back here on this senior day in Lexington, he and Square both sitting on 299. DeAndre Square picked up his 300th career stop earlier in this game, but Satterfield not real pleased. I think he's with you, Deuce, in that he felt like his guy might have rolled over the Kentucky player and got enough for the
Running
yard.
on the field, the runner was short of the line of gain. That play is under further review.
That's what they want to take a look at. Satterfield felt like that he never hit the ground, that he was able to spin part of his body basically off of Jones, and we can take another look at it here. You can see Jones, he shoots the gap, and as he's spinning, you just can't tell enough does his body hit the ground.
Man, that left leg, you can't, it gets hidden as he's wrapped up with Jones. Boy, again, I don't know if you have enough evidence there to overturn this call.
Yeah, the double team should have came from the two tight ends, and you've got a tight end that's coming across to be able to kick out there, but Jones does a nice job of seeing that gap to be able to hit it and make the play right there at the line of scrimmage or in the backfield. And I agree with you, Dave. The back end zone look, you can't tell.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to be able to go from the other view to be able to say definitively that no part of his body was either up or it did touch the ground.
After further review, the running on the field is confirmed. Runner was short, line of game. First down, Kentucky.
So they saw enough to say that Jawar Jordan did not pick up the first down, as it is confirmed. So Kentucky will have it first down and 10 from the 14-yard line. I was talking with our replay official, Thomas Considine, before the game today. We're like, hey, man, we'll have a quiet game today. Not so much. He's been busy already here in the first quarter. Out of the I formation, they'll fake it. Levis dumps it off underneath. Pass is caught there. Jordan Dingle. He'll pick up 17 yards. Kentucky's offense has been a hot topic in the Bluegrass, and there's a lot of reasons for it, but I think it's a combination of things. You haven't had an offensive line play at the high level. You didn't have Rodriguez running the football the first 4 games. Your quarterback's been banged up. You've got a young receiving core that sometimes aren't in sync with your quarterback. I mean, there's just a number of issues they've had to deal with this year.
And then you talk about him having a banged-up quarterback as well.
Little toss sweep. There's Rodriguez. Breaks a tackle, breaks another tackle, driving his way out to the 38-yard line. Momo Sonogo, the Ole Miss transfer, making the stop for the Cards.
It's just a toss that you're able to pull your offensive linemen. They do a nice job of just replacing of where they want to go, and then you get to take on those linebackers and safeties. And those guys don't want to tackle Chris Rodriguez. A couple times we've seen him just be able to drive his legs and pick up positive yardage for that Kentucky offense.
JuTahn McClain in the game at running back now for Rodriguez. He wears 17 to the right of Levis. They'll hand it to McClain. Cuts it back, and a flag comes out right in that line of scrimmage area. That's going to come back. A hold against somebody on that offensive line for Kentucky.
Holding offense number 85. 10-yard penalty, second down.
And how about this, Deuce? It looks like South Carolina is going to do it again. They're going to beat Clemson. There's just a few seconds left in that game, and the Gamecocks are going to be able to run the clock out, and they have done it. I mean, what a story in Columbia, South Carolina.
You talk about Coach Spurrier and some of the things that he's been able to do and just get his team up for big games, and that's a rivalry game, and they're able to kind of shock Clemson there.
Well, any hopes Clemson had of sneaking into the playoff just got washed away. Here's Brown near side trying to make a play. No flags. That one is incomplete. Chandler Jones back there in coverage.
Well, you really like the job Chandler Jones does here, and it's because of Brown. When he turns to locate that football, that's when he turns around to try to find that football, and both of those guys kind of hand fighting all the way down the field, and it's a nice competitive play.
There's a flag. Trying to hit Josh Kattus. To Derek Duncan back there in coverage.
Pass interference. Defense number 27. Penalty's 15 yards. First down.
Previous play, you talked about how competitive it is, and you see that right arm right there of Duncan just being able to hook Kattus where he can't get both arms around to be able to even make a play on the football. And it's been so far, Dave, it's been the tight ends that have hurt this Louisville defense, just their ability, whether it's a delayed play or them getting down the field, being able to make big plays. You know, on the outside, the speed and talent that Kentucky has, but it's been the tight ends so far this first quarter that have hurt Louisville defense.
Rodriguez back in it, running back. Ball just shy of the 45.
Ball start. Offense, number 88. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Keaton Upshaw. That is 5 penalties already against the Cats for 35 yards.
Please reset the game clock to 32 seconds, please.
Boy, Kentucky might use the 2 tight end set more than any team we've seen this year.
Some of that is just to get the look that you want defensively, and some of that is obviously to be able to shore up the pass protection as well.
First and 15. Levis to throw over the middle. It is caught near the 45-yard line by Dane Key. That's a gain of 16, and let's see if they move the chains. It's right on the line to gain, and they will give him the first down.
Yeah, Dane Key does a nice job of just being able to run this square, and he drifts a little bit on his route, being able to, and what I mean by that, he's got to keep that angle square, you know, against most cornerbacks. They'll undercut that throw, and so that's one of the things he's got to make sure that he does.
Well, that'll do it for the first quarter of play. Kentucky, the only scoring to this point. They lead.
And the sweet peppermint bark flavor. It's definitely on my list of things that bring me joy around the holidays.
What if just an idea could become a family tradition? This is financial security, and Lincoln Financial Solutions will help you get there as you plan, protect, and retire.
He'll spin out of it. You've got to bring arms and shoulders and take everything to bring him down.
Averaging over 6 yards a carry here through a quarter and change. They'll shift 2 tight ends near side. Go back to Rodriguez. Cuts it. He's down to the 26-yard line. Gain of 5. Heard a face mask from somebody, but no flag on the play. Almost a no-go in on the tackle.
So at some point, Dave, just about having the success that they've had running the football, you know some type of play action down the field is coming, whether it's a double move or whether you just want to use Brown's speed on the outside to try to get a big play.
3 tight ends in this formation for the Cats. Dingle goes in motion. They'll throw, though. Levis lofts it up in the air and just threw it out of bounds. Boy, a big collision out on the far side. Hope everybody's all right. Boy, that was, somebody took a tumble over there. We're all smiles till we wake up in the morning and we can't move.
Exactly.
Right.
And I don't know if it's even in the morning. It's maybe 2 or 3 more hours after this, you start to feel it a little bit.
So 3rd down coming up. 3rd and 5. McClain in the game at running back now. Pressure comes. They pick it up for a moment. Levis trying to run for it. He's dropped back at the 25-yard line. Won't go as a sack as he picks up a yard. Barion in on that tackle.
Double A-gap blitz, and they do a nice job of picking it up. But like you talked about, Will Levis just didn't feel comfortable being able just to sit in the pocket. I mean, they run a little cross between those Mike and that inside linebacker right there at the A-gap, and the offensive line initially picks it up, but he's tried to step up into the pocket, and that's where the DN fell off. And like you talked about, it wasn't a sack, but he picked up 1 yard.
Well, this is an area where Kentucky's had some issues. Matt Ruffalo just 12 of 20. This from 43 yards. Kick is on the way, and it is dead solid, perfect. The execution was flawless. You hear the applause from the crowd because it has been a rocky road for that group. But he splits the uprights, and Kentucky leads it by 10. Columbia ending Clemson's college football's best 40-game home winning streak. It's their first 8-win season since 2017. Kudos to the Gamecocks. I mean, you watch them play and you're like, they just kind of grind it out. Nothing real flashy about them. They just have gotten the job done.
Yeah, and you talk about up and down play with your quarterback, Spencer Rattler. Even in that game, early in the game, he had an interception that was returned for a touchdown, but they kept grinding away, and they just figured out how to win a game.
Today, Rattler went 360, 2 touchdowns. Doman getting the start today at quarterback for this Louisville team. Malik Cunningham, we showed you a couple times. He's over there, had his helmet on the last offensive possession, buckled up, ready to go, but no sign just yet. Doman, though, going to throw here. He has to loft it up in the air, and this one almost picked off again. They're in coverage. Zion Childress on Marshawn Ford.
Take another look at it. It's the pressure off of the left side. That's where they're able to get it. Your left tackle, really, he goes to help. And once he goes to help inside, then DeAndre Square is able to get that pressure, and he can't hit Ford running that over route.
Doman last week, 12 of 25, but when he started against Virginia, went 17 of 30 for 275. Handoff right side. Boy, Jawar Jordan. I mean, you know he's fast, but until you see it in person, you don't realize just how quickly he gets through that line of scrimmage.
It's real smooth. I mean, he's explosive, but you can see he's just real smooth.
Had that 98-yard kickoff return last week against the Wolfpack. And rushed for over 100 yards. They'll go back to him here. He'll pick up 4 close to the 40-yard line. Childress the first one there for the Cats. This Kentucky defense under Brad White been pretty good this year. 3rd in the conference in total yards allowed. Last week they were really good against Georgia. They held the Dogs to season low totals in points and yards allowed. Doman hit as he throws.
Second time you've got that pressure. This time Gonzalez, and that's one where Doman probably has to let that football go maybe a second sooner, because afar he's coming off as far as off of that block, and you've got a few guys that have been open against this Kentucky defense down the field a little bit, but Doman is kind of holding the ball a little bit too long.
Third down. Doman. Boy, just keeps backpedaling. Loose football. There is no whistle. Scooped up by the Cats. J.J. Weaver will have it at the 7-yard line.
We'll take another look at it. They got double A gap, but it's really only a 4-man pressure. And this one, your quarterback has to get rid of it. Your quarterback has to get rid of it. He tries to retreat right there. You can see J.J. Weaver just able to swipe down. And once he's able to swipe down at that football, it comes loose. And so that one is really a coverage sack. I mean, because they only brought 4, ran some twist stunts up front. And Dave, one thing that you noticed, Kentucky defense, they heard all about how Louisville was able to get pressure, how they had, 40-plus sacks coming into this game, and they were the better defense. Well, so far you've seen this Kentucky defense be able to show up and make some plays for it.
So Weaver will get credit for the sack, the forced fumble, and the fumble recovery, setting up Kentucky 1st and goal. Out of that I formation. Rodriguez off the left side. Oh, he is hit immediately. Big collision right at the line of scrimmage as he backs up. Momo Sonoga was the first one there.
Take another look at it. This is a power play. You talk about just playing that Mike linebacker. That's exactly what Sonogo is able to do there. You've got help and company coming as well. I think that was
Galati got there.
Yeah, Galati got there as well.
Four-man rush, Levis. He always threw it away. They're going to say loose football. Levis says he was throwing it. There was no whistle. There's a mad scramble around the 20-yard line. The Cards come out of there with the football. That's Monty Montgomery.
Yeah, you see Will, he doesn't like it, and he does step up to kind of throw it in. He was throwing it. I mean, the question probably, I don't think that he was down, but he was definitely throwing it.
But still a careless play regardless.
Very careless.
On the field was a forward pass. There was no receiver in the area. That's intentional grounding. It's a loss of down at the spot of the foul. 3rd down.
Levis is saying he was outside the tackle box.
And I think you have to agree. I think he was outside of the tackle box as well. And, you talk about Will. Take another look at it, and we'll see if he's outside of that. I think Will may have a point here. In Kentucky, the coaching staff is all the way in the middle of the field trying to get some clarification from those officials.
Just a dangerous play by Levis. Kentucky lucky to have the football, and you see Coach Stoops down there talking about so now what's happening? The ball's back at the
original line of scrimmage. I mean, if it's a loss of downs, you got to have yardage that comes off.
Levis is like, everybody's kind of confused. Yeah, there's something going on. Now Kentucky wants a timeout. So while they try to sort things out, we will take a break and come back. Coach Stoops looking for some answers. We all are at this point. Kentucky leading 10-0, but let's go back to that last sequence of events. And here's the situation. The ball was around the 7-yard line. So Will Levis, who will be whistled for intentional grounding, is at the 11. So the ball's actually spotted in the right spot. It's a 4-yard loss from where that original line of scrimmage was, and a loss of down. So they got the ball position correctly. The one thing that's up for debate is whether or not he was outside the tackle box, but really that's just an opinion call. And the official's opinion wins.
You have to go by his interpretation of the rules and what he sees.
So it will be 3rd down and goal from the 11. Well, he's got McClain out there. He had him early. He kept looking over the middle. McClain was out there in the flat. Nothing doing. It's 4th down, and here comes the kicking unit. Good job by this Louisville defense to stand up and force the field goal attempts. 29-yard attempt from Ruffalo. And that kick is up and good. Ruffalo, 2 out of 2. He is hit from 43. And it's now a 13-0 Kentucky advantage over Louisville with 10:28 to play here before halftime. We'll pause for a moment. More football action coming up in 10 seconds. Kroger Field in Lexington, Kentucky. The 34th edition of this Governor's Cup battle between Louisville and Kentucky. And there is Malik Cunningham, who has been out with a couple of different injuries. Really, the shoulder is the one that kept him out the last couple of weeks. So last week in particular against NC State. But he's been over there, boy. He's been working that shoulder. And now the discussion is on. Malik, are you ready to go? It's kind of what that looks like.
Yeah, and you know he's lobbying to get in. You know, hey, look, coach, I'm okay. I can go out there and run the offense. And they need a spark offensively as well.
So Chance Poore will kick it away. And this will sail into the end zone. And for that, time to get an update. Let's visit with Dari Noka. What's up, buddy? All right, well, you kind of figured Auburn would have a little bit of emotion, even though they're on the road. See how the emotion is for this Cardinal team. Malik Cunningham, his first look today. Last year versus Kentucky, you saw those numbers. They'll line up with the pistol and hand it off to the right side. And Turner will be stood up there at the line of scrimmage. Malik Cunningham has had just an unbelievable career. He started 47 games. A fifth-year senior out of Montgomery, Alabama. He has accounted for 119 touchdowns in his Louisville career. Second most among active players. Only Sam Hartman of Wake Forest has more. Pressure comes. Cunningham is dropped. Zion Childress.
Take a look at it, and from that strong safety position, Malik Cunningham never sees it. You know, you talk about your back being able to pick it up a little bit. Turner has to be able to see that and feel that. And once Malik Cunningham felt that pressure, it was too late. A nice call there by Brad White, the defensive coordinator, to bring pressure on Malik Cunningham.
So now it's 3rd and 19. They'll still run it off the left side. Nice run there from Turner. He's out near the 30, but a good 6-7 yards shy of the line to gain. Boy, Caleb Chandler comes up hobbling.
Timeout. Player injury.
Young man has started 52 career games for Louisville. An All-American last year. Getting helped off the field by his offensive lineman. Out of Jefferson, Georgia, up there near Athens. Let's hope he's all right. This is an offensive line, certainly, that has played a lot of football together, trying to protect that guy, Cunningham. Didn't see him throw it. Thought 3rd and 19, we might be able to see just how that arm is holding up.
Well, the previous 3rd and long situation, they ran the football as well in the first quarter.
Line drive, end over, end kick. Brown lets it bounce once, scoops it up. And he is wrapped up at the 20-yard line, so that's where the Cats will have it. Louisville's defense or offense first quarter, and Josh Kattus, who came with 5 catches for 49 yards, picks up a 70-yarder right here. That sets up what would be the lone touchdown of the game as Levis hits Dane Key for his 6th touchdown reception of the year. A couple of field goals later, 13-0 Kentucky. A couple of field goals, and they've been in that red zone. Here's a toss sweep coming near side. McClain Out over the 30-yard line. And I guess finishing off drives, pretty much a discussion on the sidelines. Andrea?
Absolutely, Dave. You mentioned those last drives ending in field goals. After the most recent one, Will Levis came over to the sidelines, heard him say to himself, we have got to finish in the red zone. Very intense, a lot of focus from Will Levis.
Yeah, Will's been focused all week. He's, last week said he was feeling better. This week, probably some of the best practices he's had since the season started. Probably feeling as good as he has since the season started. Will, 5 of 9 for $125 and that touchdown. Here's Brown. That'll go as a tap pass, and he'll be dropped down. We'll spot him at the 38-yard line. Nice job by Brownlee on the edge to bring him down. That's not an easy ask.
And you talk about just the pure speed of Brown and that pass, and they have it defended pretty well right there on the edge. And I mean, he gets tackled just because the arm, they were able to pull his arm down right there on the edge. But I mean, you look at those 2 previous plays, both of them, they're attacking that Louisville defense on the outside, right on the edges. They've got to be able to leverage that a lot better.
Second down. And let's call it 4. Handoff, Rodriguez. He'll fall forward for 1.5 yards. Derek Duncan making the tackle on a guy that's really hard to bring down. Rodriguez, he had about a loss of 1 yard on maybe his first or second carry today. But other than that, of his 575 carries, only 26 have been for negative yardage.
He can make people miss in the backfield, but he also is obviously a powerful runner.
That pass is caught by Kattus, who will pick up the first down out over the 45-yard line. That's his second grab today, gain of 7. Levis 7 of 11 against Georgia. 20 of 31 last week for 206, a touchdown and an interception. This Kentucky offense had a 99-yard drive that resulted in a touchdown at Athens last week. Levis, little sidearm. Some pressure came from the outside. That's Derek Duncan forcing the awkward throw. Hey, don't forget, we've got a college basketball doubleheader for you tomorrow starting at 1 Eastern, noon Central. We're going to take a look at that second game in particular as Wendell Green leads number 13 Auburn against St. Louis. Coverage of that one begins at 3 Eastern, 2 Central right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app, of course. Georgia taking on East Tennessee State at 1 o'clock to kick things off. Pressure comes. Levis is dropped. There's the first sack of the game for the team that does it better than anybody in America. A loss of 11.
Take another look at it, and it's actually a stunt. And you talk about up front, your tight end being able to miss that block. I think that was Dingle that had a shot at it, and it's just a nice play. And the second time that we've seen Galati be able to make a play. We saw him earlier down there on the power run, and this time he comes up with the sack.
42 sacks this year for Galati. That's number 6 for him. And it's 3rd down and 20. Hand it off. Here's McClain. Still on his feet across midfield. And he'll be stopped there. But now maybe you think about pushing the envelope on 4th down. He's going to be 4th and about 4. Under 5 minutes to go before half.
Well, it definitely flips the field for him when you talk about it. And it's just a run. And we've seen both teams be able to say, hey, look, we're going to run the football 3rd and long situations. And, they'll at least send their offense out there to see if they can draw them offside or, like we talked about, possibly go for it.
They're going to go for it here, I think. Play clock at 5. Yeah, trying to get him jumped. Nothing doing here. That'll be a delay of game. Push him back to 5, and they'll punt it away.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
You know, crowd didn't like it, but your defense has played really well. Louisville hasn't moved the football. I think it's kind of a no-brainer to punt this one away.
Well, unless you just feel like that they're being ultra aggressive and they're, really leaning there, as well as your defense is playing. I mean, you continue to play good defense. I mean, you continue to play good defense. You should be able to pin them inside. But, the special teams unit, we've seen some odd things happen.
Braden Smith back to return this punt. Wilson Berry to the far hash mark from the 6-yard line. Uh-oh. Out to the 35-yard line goes Braden Smith, and that's a nice return. Boy, Smith had a bunch of room to run before there was a blue jersey anywhere in sight.
Well, it was the punter that made the tackle.
Yeah. Malik Cunningham looks like he's coming back to run the show. 3:58 to go before halftime.
Touchdown, no interceptions. Chris Rodriguez averaging 4.7 yards a pop. Good start for them, guys.
Well, we'll see if Malik Cunningham can give him a spark. Didn't throw it in his first possession. It was a 3-and-out for Louisville. Now the shotgun throws here. Nice crisp pass with a good spin. He hits Braden Smith, and that'll pick up 6. We were watching him during that timeout, throwing that sideline, and looked like he was not feeling any pain. There was no flinching when he threw the football.
Well, I mean, the short throws, he should be able to do pretty good. The concern comes when it's an intermediate or the deep shot. Does he still have that tight spiral?
There's a first down catch. Out to the 49-yard line, gain of 7. And he's still has that non-throwing hand bandaged up. Got that versus James Madison. Of course, concussion bothered him, didn't play against Virginia, and the shoulder kept him out of the Clemson game, or got hurt in that Clemson game, and did not play last week against NC State. Little throwback. Read extremely well there, and a big hit by J.J. Weaver on Marshawn Ford. Louisville going quick.
Yeah, they tried to come back with a throwback screen, but Weaver read it perfectly.
They will hand it off. It's a 10-yard run there by Jawar Jordan. That'll be close to the line to gain. They're going to say it's 4th down and inches. Or excuse me, 3rd down and inches. Out of the pistol formation. Little play fake. Going up top, and that is out of bounds and incomplete. Trying to hit Hudson on that far sideline. Valentine over there in coverage. And you're looking at Hudson with 63 catches on the year.
Yeah, a little stutter go. And I mean, just no separation. Nice job by Valentine being able to squeeze him all the way to the sideline. And I think one of the reasons you go with that play, Dave, is because you knew that you were going to go for it right here on 4th down. First time they did it, they ran inside a split zone, and Jones made the play in the backfield.
On 4th down. Pass is caught. Oh, Ford had the first down, and when he cut, he slipped. A gain of 3, but it keeps the drive alive.
Take another look at it. It's the same mechanics as the first play until you fake it like it's inside zone, and I'm just going to hit the flat route, and it was because he tried to cut off of that inside foot. He could not keep his balance. He picks up the first down, but probably should have had a lot more yardage there.
Running off the left side with Jordan. Flag comes out.
Illegal blocking back, number 0 on the offense. 3-yard penalty. First down.
Hey, coming up at time, you can watch the live performance of Kentucky's Wildcat Marching Band. Start streaming that on the ESPN app. They make their way down the tunnel. Both fans in attendance today. Under 2 minutes to play before halftime. Oh, from the 45, Cunningham. And whistles will stop this one. Our side judge runs in. Generally a clock issue.
Play, the runner was out of bounds. The clock will start on the snap. Please reset the clock to 1:55, please.
There you have it. Put 8 seconds back on the clock. Louisville with just 109 total yards of offense. With less than 2 minutes to go here in the second quarter. 4-man look from the Cats. They'll run it here with Jordan. Hurdles a man, stays on his feet, has the first down and a whole bunch more. What an athlete, Jawar Jordan. Man, what a play.
This is outside zone, and Dave, you normally see guys when they go to hurdle, they are not able to stay on their feet, and he may have ran some track at some point in his lifetime, because that's exactly what you're doing there. You're going over a hurdle, and you can just see him be able to protect the football as you have Kentucky defenders pulling at it. Not only does he pick up a first down, he goes out of bounds as well.
Well, he was a sprinter in high school. I don't know if he did the hurdles or not, but he should have now by looking at that. Here's Cunningham. Bootlegs it, keeps it himself, cuts it back, and he is down near the 15-yard line. They'll spot him at the 16. Trevin Wallace, first one there for Kentucky, but 93 seconds to go before halftime, and Cardinals in the red zone. Off the right side, and that'll be good enough for the first down. J.J. Weaver in on the play for the Cats.
Kentucky defensively, they're bringing more pressure off of the edge there. You see Malik hand the football off to pick up that first down, but you can look for that pressure by Kentucky coming off of the edges.
10 plays, 51 yards on this drive. Clock continues to tick. Turner in the game at running back. They'll go with Turner. And there's a flag that comes in. Actually, a couple of flags come in.
One is face mask. Now, I don't know if both officials saw it, but I know one of the flags should be a face mask.
Personal foul, face mask, number 99 defense. Penalty is half the distance to the goal from the end of the run. First down.
You see it right there. Hayes is just, when he goes to make that tackle, grabs him by the face mask.
Clock will start on the snap.
So the ball will be placed at the 6-yard line. It'll be first and goal now for the Cardinals. Jordan back in the game at running back. Cunningham tucks it, runs. Touchdown, Louisville. Malik Cunningham from 6 yards out.
See the athletic ability here by Cunningham. He wants to throw that corner route, but it's not there, so he decides to tuck it, and he's going to take it in for a score there. I think that was a nice block also by Ford right there on the edge once Malik decided he wasn't going to throw the football and take it in himself.
12-play drive. Malik Cunningham let him down for their first points of the game, and it's now 13-7. And for Malik Cunningham, his 50th rushing career touchdown, tying Lamar Jackson for the most rushing touchdowns in Louisville history. He came into the game with 11 on the year, 12 now in 2022, and he just continues to set records.
Well, we talked about that offense needing a shock, and so he definitely gave them a shock offensively. And early on, the first two passes of that drive, you know, were kind of hitch route, short route. You ran a little out. One play there, you tried to run a stutter go to the outside, but I mean, he did a nice job of being able to run with his legs. They went forward on 4th and short. You were able to pick it up in the flat, and he just did a nice job of distribution to different playmakers, but also they did a good job of running the football as well.
Boy, Louisville needed a spark. They were in a world of hurt, just couldn't move. Matter of fact, before that drive, they were sitting on 109 yards, 108 yards of offense. A little pooch kick and a fair catch called for, and that's where Kentucky will have it with 36 seconds remaining before halftime. Well, we'll have more football action right after the short timeout. But some fun here at Kroger Field in Lexington. Dave Neal, Deuce McAllister, Andrea Carter closing in on halftime. You see Kentucky busted out for the first time ever this black matte helmet with the Wildcat logo. It's the first time I've seen that Wildcat logo on a helmet. These helmets have been around. They've been kind of in the closet waiting for them to bust them out on a special occasion. And I guess this senior day against the Cards was the right occasion. Levis. There is no flag as Barion Brown was basically run out of bounds on that far side by Brownlee.
Dave, I'll just say I'm very surprised here. I mean, you talk about being able to fight with them, and Barion Brown never really could locate the football just because of the hand fighting that he and Brownlee were doing, and just trying to run a go route, use the speed of Brown there on the sideline.
I will say that ball was a good 15 yards overthrown. I don't think anybody was going to catch it regardless. But 2nd down and 10. Rodriguez off the left side, moving some white jerseys with him across midfield, and a flag comes in. Boy, all the way back. Our side judge.
Offense number 3. The 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Our side judge, Milton Brown, threw that flag a good 20 yards.
And he called it on Crowders right there, one of the receivers on the edge. And you talk about being in a position to maybe pick up another 15, 20 yards. It's right there. His hands are definitely high. Yeah, his hands are high.
That was, as far as holding goes, he was definitely holding.
Yeah, he was definitely holding, but he kind of got caught up in the mush there. And our side judge saw it, and you were right, Dave. About a good 20 yards, he threw that flag.
So Kentucky going to have to snap this. There's about a 1.5-second differential between the play clock and the game clock. And this will be the final play. And the Cats will head to the locker room. Boy, some more pushing and shoving going on. Boy, Brown and Brownlee getting to know each other quite well. So Kentucky leads it by 6. They had the first touchdown and a couple of field goals. And Louisville gets some momentum as soon as Malik Cunningham comes into the game to make it a 13-7 contest. Coach Stoops having a discussion with our referee, Jeff Flanagan, on the way into the locker room. Probably getting some answers on some of the pushing and shoving, perhaps. We had a lot of it here in the first half. Andrea waiting for him as he heads to that locker room. And let's go down to her right now. Andrea?
Coach, we just saw that conversation with the referee. What information did you get?
Oh, I just had a question about one particular play. It's all good. I mean, it's a tough game. We knew it would be. Wish we didn't give up the late touchdown there. Defense was playing really good until that last drive. We got to keep them out. They get the ball here and start the second half.
You mentioned that defense in the last drive. If Malik Cunningham comes back out at quarterback, how does your defense contain him?
Well, I mean, we had to prepare for Malik all day. I mean, he's tough. I mean, all week. He's a tough. He's a good player. Obviously, you saw him pull it down. He could run. He could throw it. He's got a lot of experience, so we just got to play great team defense.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
Cats will take the lead into halftime. They have won 3 in a row in this Governor's Cup matchup between the Cards and the Cats. Time to get it to the studio. Dory, take it away. Kentucky, Louisville, 13-7 our score after 2 quarters of football. Dave Neal alongside Deuce McAllister. And Deuce, Kentucky got off to a 13-0 start. Louisville scores right before halftime. But what were your takeaways of the first 30 minutes?
Yeah, I really thought that Kentucky didn't finish as far as, getting in the red zone, not being able to punch it in. I think that they allowed Louisville to hang around and really find some rhythm. I think when you look at it from a defensive standpoint, Kentucky has done well enough to be able to have a bigger lead. But then Louisville, they were able to get a couple sacks, have some confusions, really covering the tight end. Be interested to see which team can gain some momentum as they come out to start the third quarter.
And certainly having Malik Cunningham back under center has helped out. This Louisville offense gave him a little shot in the arm, as he has done throughout his career. As you look at our Pfizer every detail counts first half stats, and pretty even across the board. And just really the penalties for Kentucky. What was going on? 9 of those. 9 in the first half.
Yeah, you have 9 penalties in the first half. That's not normally how they play as a unit, and that's one of the things that I can guarantee you, Coach Stoops, he's telling his unit they have got to get cleaned up. You're putting yourselves in negative situations when you talk about having to have production on third down. And, you don't want to be in third and long situations. And then you talk about, obviously, some of the issues. We've had a couple of personal fouls, offsetting penalties against each team. So hopefully it's about just going out and playing the game of football.
Those 9 penalties in the first half for Kentucky, the second most in the first half this season. They had 10 versus Mississippi State and won that game. They had 9 versus Youngstown, of course, won that game. The most penalties in a game for the Cats was 12, and that came against Missouri. And, of course, that was a game the Cats won as well, 21-17. Cardinals get the football first. You saw Malik Cunningham. He looks like he is ready to go. Brock Doman got the start for the second consecutive week under center for Louisville. And that kick sails to the end zone, so out to the 25-yard line. Let's go downstairs, check in with Andrea.
Thanks, Dave. Well, I caught up with Coach Satterfield of Louisville. He said he's very pleased with his defense, minus that 70-yard play. Felt like they held their own. Wants that unit to do exactly what they've been doing. Offensively, he said he's been pleased with Malik Cunningham. He will get the start, so you were right. That's why he looked so ready. He said he felt like they did a better job taking what Kentucky's defense gives them, especially with that underneath game and the ground game. So look for them to continue to go to that until something else opens up.
The numbers really are staggering for Malik. He's thrown for 9,600 yards. He's rushed for over 3,100 yards. He's accounted for 120 touchdowns. He did not account for the blue wave coming right at him on the opening play of the third quarter. He has dropped a loss of 9 on the play. Deion Walker, the first one there.
It's a really nice job. You have some twists and some stunts. They give a 4th guy as far as the rusher is concerned, and that offensive line is not able to hold up. We've talked about Walker being able to make his presence known, and there he does it on the first play of the third quarter.
Off the right side goes Jordan. Jordan that first half. Had 97 yards rushing, averaged over 7 yards a carry. He's now up to 103 yards, his third career 100-yard game. All 3 of those coming in the last 4 contests. And an injury timeout for Kentucky. Can't see who's taking a knee right there at the 25-yard line. Looks like Zion Childress, perhaps.
Yeah, on that run there, it looked like he and both Justin Rogers were both slow to get up on that outside zone play. And Zion Childress, he was going to try to walk off, and then he had to take a knee. Hopefully it's just a stinger or something that he can kind of shake off.
Hey, coming up at 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central, right here on this very network. And of course, on the ESPN app, we'll have this 117th meeting between 10th ranked Tennessee and Vanderbilt. Vols looking to bounce back with Joe Milton under center for this one. Commodores trying to get bowl eligible after back-to-back conference wins. Could they make it 3 straight in the SEC after losing 26 straight? I mean, they were here a couple of weeks. We were here with them, and it's just a nasty day. It was snowy, rainy, sleety, freezing cold. But the doors came to play. They knocked off Kentucky, and then, of course, last week picked up another win in the conference. Here is Cunningham. He is dropped at the 30-yard line. He will pick up 9 yards. Tell you what, DeAndre Square has been active today. We've seen Jaquez Jones. This linebacking core, when you start thinking about De'Aaron Jackson, Jones, Square, Jordan Wright, J.J. Weaver, I mean, this is a really talented group of players when they're healthy.
And the health hadn't held up for those guys. I mean, but they are the heartbeat of that defense, and they make a ton of plays. And there you see them make another play on 3rd down.
Here's Brown. Makes a couple of guys miss. Cuts it back to the 44-yard line and dropped there. A nice return by Barion Brown. And the Cats will have relatively good field position on their opening drive of the 3rd quarter. We'll step aside. A young man who didn't even start 2 years ago took over that job and was certainly in talks throughout the season as a Heisman Trophy candidate. Wish him the best, man. He was a fun player to watch and did it the right way.
And David, when you talk about it, just some of the things that he was able to do from a processing standpoint, how they go so fast offensively, and he just saw the play before it even really developed and happened. And he was a distributor. He distributed the football to a lot of different playmakers that Tennessee had. And, you know, when you talk about it, maybe Vanderbilt having a shot, that's the reason why that they will have a shot, because his presence not being able to go out there and play.
Joe Milton getting the start for Tennessee tonight right here on the SEC Network, 7:30 against the Commodores. Here's Levis. Tries to dump it off to the tight end, but things got kind of bottled up in there. Looking for Kattus. Levis today, 7 of 13, 137.
And Willis really went to those tight ends as an outlet on a lot of those calls. You know, Louisville likes to bring that pressure, and I think they had a blown coverage earlier in the half, and that's how you were able to get Kattus open for that long 70-plus yarder.
Boy, you know this defense licking their chops now. They don't lead the country in sacks for nothing. 3rd down and 5. Bringing a couple extra bodies. Levis will throw underneath. Pass is caught. 1st down and a whole bunch more. Barion Brown dropped around the 31-yard line. That's a gain of 21.
Take another look at it, Dave. You talked about the pressure, and if you're going to bring pressure, you better be able to tackle out in space, and they're not able to touch it. And, you know, it's really Brown. They don't even get a hand on him. That was Chandler Jones that had a shot at him first, and Will Levis throws a strike to him, and you see the speed that he has as well.
1st down and 10. They'll hand it to Rodriguez. Boy, Barion Brown had a huge game last week. 10 catches, 145 yards, and a touchdown against the Georgia Bulldogs. And he has just continued each week to get better and better. Matter of fact, earlier in the year, Dane Key kind of stole the show, the true freshman. But in the second half of the season, it's really been about Barion Brown.
Well, you look at Dane Key, you know, his ability, I think he has the most receptions by a freshman as far as touchdowns. Yeah. But you look at what Brown has been able to bring to it, he has continually got better. And he's just going to be another weapon for that offense.
The team's leading receiver, JuTahn McClain in the game at running back now. Boy, nice block by the tight end. It was that Dingle that came in to keep that hole wide open for a gain of 6.
Take a look at it, and that's exactly what it was. It's a split zone, and he seals that defensive end, and you force that safety or that outside backer to have to come up and make that play. It was a safety, Meekins, that had to make the play.
3rd and short. Boy, a whole bunch of big boys at that line of scrimmage. Levis tries to take it himself. I don't even know how you spot a ball in that situation. There's 16 bodies piled up.
And they're going to go in there and measure it, looks like, and or at least to kind of clear it out a little bit. I just don't know if you can find the football and see exactly where it's at.
Well, let's see if they pick it up. They bring the change in for the 2nd time today, and it looks like they're going to have enough, just like last time. About a quarter of a football.
The indication is Kentucky.
Dave, and the one thing we know, you talk about Will Levis, he is a big young man as well. He's not small as far as for a quarterback, and he hadn't run the football a lot this year just because of those injuries, but he's able to pick up the 1st down right there on the quarterback sneak.
He had 113 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns against this Louisville team a year ago. Brown goes in motion. They'll fake the tap pass to him, and Levis will keep it himself. And we just haven't seen a whole lot of that this year. Not that they did it a bunch last year, but they did it enough to keep teams honest.
And that's just QB lead right there. Cavassier Smoke does a nice job on the edge, and we saw him earlier be able to run the speed sweep with Brown, a little tap pass, and that time you bring him in motion. Same look, but the Louisville defense saw that Will kept it the whole way, and they're able to stop him for about a 2-yard gain.
They creep into that red zone where they have had a tough time scoring touchdowns. Their touchdown rate in the red zone, 55%. That is the worst number in the SEC. Rodriguez off the right side, hit there by Minkins. 4 tackles for Josh in the back end of that Louisville defense. Quick snap, Levis, pressure comes, lofts it up to the end zone. Incomplete. It looked like for a minute that Rashawn Lewis was going to haul in a remarkable catch, but couldn't hang on long enough, and it's incomplete. And here comes the field goal unit.
And this is a slot fade right there. Nice job defensively just by digging out this ball. I mean, he doesn't quit on the play, and if he does, I mean, you talk about being able to give up a touchdown. That's a nice job, slot fade, being able to cover it to the end and just dig that football out.
43-29, both have been good. This one from 35. Ruffalo. He will split the pipes on that one. For a guy that came in 12 out of 20 in the field goal department, has looked perfect today. 3 out of 3. Timeout on the field. Back in a moment. One of the toughest jobs in America is holding on to a job in the SEC as a football coach. Outside of Nick Saban, Mark Stoops now in his 10th season is the 2nd longest tenured coach in the conference. Then it's Kirby Smart at 7 and Jimbo Fisher at 5. But Coach Stoops just got his contract extended. Congratulations to him. He told us this week we've been working on that since, back in late summer, early fall, and it just got announced at the wrong time, really, right after the Vanderbilt game. But it's something that was in the works for a while, and he's certainly being paid handsomely for the job that he has done, bringing this Kentucky football program back to life as the school's all-time winningest coach. And listen, and Deuce, he told us in our meetings, you know, like, this has been a disappointing season. There's a lot of reasons for it, but none of them matter. He said the bottom line is we're here to win football games, and it hasn't worked out that way. And nobody wants to win more than he does. I mean, so when it comes to feeling the pain of a season that had so much hope to where it's ended up, he feels it more than anybody.
Yeah, you're talking about a program that had their eyes set on probably being the third best team in the SEC overall, and not just in the East. And so he'll tell you, hey, look, we didn't meet our expectations. We did not go out and play the type of football that we thought we could, just building off of last year. And that's something that he knows that they have to improve upon.
Louisville, first down and 10, working right side, and they will hand that one off to Gerard Jordan. Cards have been good in the second half. They have rallied the troops many occasion down the stretch. Remember, this is a team that's won 5 of their last 6 games. Their only loss in that stretch was to Clemson on the road. They have outscored their opponents 164 to 89 in the second half, and it's a lot of it goes to that guy right there, Malik Cunningham. It's continuing to set records. And a touchdown late in the first half. The throw here, and that one is picked off. Intercepted by Kentucky's Trevin Wallace.
Dave, just take another look at Trevin Wallace, and he's just robbing underneath. That's a deep slant, and he just drops into his drop area as far as a linebacker. There's a little pressure, I mean, but that's just an outstanding job of just reading the quarterback eyes. There is no way that ball should have went there. But like you talked about, Malik kind of forced it, and outside of one throw on the stutter go, he has not really pushed the football down the field. Everything has been underneath, and I don't know if that's the shoulder injury bothering him a little bit, but every throw that he has thrown has kind of been underneath, and Wallace does an outstanding job of just sinking into his hook zone and makes the interception.
Wallace with 4 tackles, tackle behind the line, half sack, an interception, and a pressure today. They'll hand it off. Speaking of pressure, Rodriguez putting it on that Louisville defense, driving the pile inside the 5-yard line. It'll be first and goal, Kentucky.
They come back and they just run this power play, and you see him being able to move a little bit in the hole, but I mean, he is driving those knees, and nobody is able to bring him down until, first contact was probably about 5 yards back, and he's able to just drive guys forward.
Well, that turnover's put this Louisville defense in a bad position. First and goal inside the 5. They'll go again with Rodriguez, left side. Louisville trips him up. Dive forward for a yard and a half, brought down there by Clark.
See Louisville selling out with those safeties, being able to try to run it down from behind. Normally you have that opportunity where you, from a quarterback standpoint, you can pull it, same play back to back. Now that quarterback pulls it, or even some type of play action pass to one of the tight ends.
Kentucky with 1 touchdown and 3 trips into the red zone. This is trip number 4. Levis lofts it up to the corner, and Brown with the catch. Touchdown, Kentucky.
This is just fade, and this is just going in high pointed, and there is nothing that Clark can do there. Brown shows that vertical right there and goes up and gets the football at the highest point.
Going after, up and good. Barion Brown has been targeted 6 times today. He has 4 catches and a touchdown, and he does it again He has set a Kentucky freshman record for receptions, up to 45. Now has 4 touchdown grabs as well. I got hurt a little bit, deep down inside. I've been there, man. So much to talk about. That's why I love this weekend of football, man. It is awesome. I love these kind of matchups and out-of-conference games, in-conference games, but you can catch it all on SEC Football Final tonight. Dari, Chris, Benjamin, Takeo, they'll take you through all the biggest stories of the weekend, break down all these games, 10:30 Eastern, right after Tennessee Vanderbilt, right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Well, after that last interception, Scott Satterfield decides to go back to Brock Doman, who had the first go at it today. Doman will throw on first down. Pass is caught. Carrington Valentine with the tackle on that far side. It's Tyler Hudson who has really been their guy. I mean, he is option number 1, option number 2, and option number 3 at the wideout position. Now, Marshawn Ford, the tight end, involved a lot, but as wide receivers goes, he's been their guy. And a first down run, but a loose football on the ground, and Louisville pounces right on top of it. Heads up play. Doman, 4 of 9, 25 yards. Kentucky in a good spot. The way their team works, man, if they can get a lead, they can run the football a little bit, chew up this clock, and the word we hear out of their offices all the time, complimentary football.
Well, it's complimentary, but they're going to grind. I mean, they like to grind it. You have a physical running back in Chris Rodriguez, and you just want to feed him.
Couple of fakes. Doman has some time and will go underneath, and nice tackle in the open field as Turner makes the catch. Jordan Wright on the stop, a gain of only 1. Second down and 9. Doman keeps it nowhere to run, and he is dropped right at the line of scrimmage. Jenkins steps up.
You take a look at this, Dave, and it looked like he wanted to hand this football off, but looked like he was so far away from his running back that he really couldn't. And we've seen him just be not on the same page, even with the offensive linemen and receivers down the field, kind of holding the football maybe a second or two too long, and that Kentucky defense is able to come up with pressure as well as sacks.
Third down and 10. 4-man rush. Over the middle and incomplete. Boy, Tyler Hudson did all he could to lay out for that football just off his fingertips. Valentine back there in coverage, and it's a punting situation for Louisville.
Well, Doman is in the pocket, and he sits and sits, and just look at, I mean, he's throwing that all arm. He's throwing that all arm, and that's really probably why it was not on target, and talked about probably should have been picked off again. They have been able to get pressure on that offense at least 5 times.
Barion Brown back to return this at the 20-yard line. If he can catch up to it, returnable, but it hits at the 20, and he'll field it on a hop and wrapped up right there, and probably saved a little bit of yardage by doing that. Jordan down there on the special teams making the tackle for the Cards. Hey, we have a college basketball doubleheader for you tomorrow starting at 1 o'clock Eastern. Of course, a second game featuring 13th ranked Auburn playing host to St. Louis. Wendell Green and company will come your way at 3 o'clock Eastern. Georgia, East Tennessee State start things off at 1 o'clock. Mike White, the new head coach at the University of Georgia, be in Athens for that one. Off the left side, Rodriguez. Boy,
I mean, they've used this play time and time again, and you're just running behind your big guard that's pulling, and Rodriguez, you better tackle him. And I mean, you better bring arms and everything, the lower body with you, because if you don't, he's going to just run out of tackles, and you know, he's already had a ton of broken tackles today.
Rodriguez third in Kentucky history in rushing yardage, over 3,500 today, 79 yards, averaging 5 yards a carry. Off the right side, just powers for the first down over the 30. Let's go down to Andrea.
Well, Dave, I talked to the captain of this Louisville defense, Momo Sanago, about Chris Rodriguez, and he said Chris Rodriguez is every bit of 230, but it's less his weight, it's more his physicality. He said he runs the ball like a linebacker would run the ball, but with much better vision. So a lot of respect from Momo Sanago. Again, you have to remember, he played Chris Rodriguez when he was at Ole Miss, so he knows what he's going up against.
Well, Rodriguez, 19 career 100-yard rushing games, tied with the great Sonny Collins for most in Kentucky history when he was 19. It looks like he's going to close in on 100 as he approaches 90 right now. We've still got a lot of football left. Take a breather for a moment. McClain will come back in. And Deuce, we talked about it. You wonder what could have been in terms of running the football. Obviously, there have been some offensive line issues, but you know, you had Rodriguez sit out the first 4 games. Ramon Jefferson blew out his knee, the transfer from the FCS, who is so talented. They're going to try to get him a red shirt for 1 more year if possible. Cavassier Smoke filled in, JuTahn McClain. I mean, this was a good running back run. They'll get it to the outside. There goes Lewis. And Rashawn has the first down.
And I think that when you talk about it, a good running back room, but they probably underperformed. They underperformed, and you know, you really never got any rhythm running the football up to the standards that Kentucky had set for them and what they wanted to do. I mean, they want to be a grounded out team. I've got some young speed on the outside. We've seen Brown, we've seen Key be able to do some things, and you know, they want to, hey, we'll run it, we'll take a shot, we'll let Will Levis run around a little bit and do what he does, and so they just hadn't met the expectation.
Yeah, this is a Kentucky offense that rushes for 117 yards a game. That is 13th in the league, and you just didn't see that coming at the beginning of the year. Boy, McClain with a nice hard run into Louisville territory. And look, this offensive line certainly has had their issues, but today they are playing really well.
Well, you see the double team right there and just being able to run behind your tight ends as well. I mean, they are being physical up front, and that's who they wanted to be the complete year. And it just took them a while to get going. It took them a while to get going, and they've just been inconsistent up front.
2nd down and 3. Boy, this Louisville defense has had a great second half. But Kentucky finding some holes today. 1st down for McClain.
And they have come back to power, you know, numerous times on this drive, and it's just been able to create lanes, create seams, and you know, you talk about how Louisville is able to get after the quarterback. Well, if you don't stop the run, you have to earn the right to rush the passer, and you know, they haven't consistently stopped the run, so you can't rush the passer when you don't stop the run in 1st and 2nd down situations.
Rodriguez back in the game at running back. He'll line up in the eye behind Dingle. Oh, and he tripped up on his own player. Looked like Dingle got pushed back and just enough to mess up Rodriguez. So that'll do it for the 3rd quarter. The battle for the Governor's Cup. It has been Kentucky to this point, as they lead at 23-7. 15 more minutes of football on the way. As we head to the 4th quarter, Kentucky up 23-7. Louisville, who came in having created 28 turnovers on the year. That is 1st in the ACC, 2nd in the country, have yet to create one. They've turned it over twice. Here comes some heat on Levis. He'll go underneath to Dane Key, gets some nice blocking on the outside, and he'll be close to the first down. Let's see where they end up spotting it. Right on that first down line. And that will give them the first down. It has been a tough day for Louisville. Really, their only substantial drive, Deuce, was right there at the end of the first half.
Yeah, right before the half, Cunningham had come into the game, and he threw a couple hitch routes and was able to throw underneath when they went for it on fourth down to his tight end, but he never really pushed the football down the field. He ran the stutter go. Valentine did a nice job of covering that, and then, you know, obviously the force that you had for the interception, but that was the only time offensively that they had looked like they had any type of rhythm.
Another three tight end set for Kentucky. Rodriguez off that left side. He'll take it inside the 25 down to the 24. MJ Griffin in there to make a tackle. That's number 5 for MJ.
Dave, you talked about it earlier, really, too, with Kentucky being able to go 12 personnel or 13 personnel, their ability just to grind. And I think that's really where they have neutralized the quickness and the speed of that Louisville defense up front, just being able to take some of that away and just grind out yardage.
Second down and 6. England motion, handoff, Rodriguez. Look at him run, boy. He is feeling it today as Rodriguez brought down by Monty Montgomery. He'll pick up 4 more yards, so it'll be third down and short.
And they've come to this counter play, this lead play, and you talk about maybe tackled for no gain or 1 yard at most, and he's able just to spin out of that and pick up about 4 more yards after first contact.
Louisville's had 7 missed tackles today. Third down and short. McClain hit immediately. There's some of that quickness you're talking about. Boy, Brownlee came flying in to hit McClain for a loss of 3. And here comes the field goal unit.
You hadn't saw a lot of this, and you know they're just able to catch him before he could get going off of the backside, and Brownlee able to catch McClain there. And you know they just hadn't had enough of those lost yardage TFL type of plays.
You saw the numbers there. The last 7 games, just 5 out of 12. He was 0 for 1 last week against Georgia. He is 3 out of 3 today. 43, 29, and 35. This from 40. I think it's all back together. Coach Mark Stoops, when we asked him about it yesterday or this week in our meetings, he said, man, if it could go wrong, it has gone wrong in the kicking department. Not today. It has been perfect. Swan gets injured, Wright takes it back, and they have blossomed under Mike Wright and Ray Davis, and a defense that has been opportunistic as well, and a chance to go bowling if they could pull off yet another upset. And you can see it all coming up at 7:30 Eastern right here on the SEC Network, and of course on the ESPN app as well, as Tennessee and Vandy square off for the 117th time. Joe Milton at the start gets the start at quarterback for Tennessee. Commodores, of course, with Mike Wright leading the way, trying to win for the 6th time this year. And what a job by Clark Lee. Tip of the cap to Coach Lee. He was so emotional when they won here in this post-game interview. Just couldn't keep it together.
But he talked about the process so much, and you know they finally understood some of that process of what it took.
There goes Jordan off the right side. Jordan now with 112 yards on 16 carries. Maurice Turner, 33 yards on 7 carries. The problem with Louisville's offense, they have no pass game. They've thrown for 42 yards today. Good hard running there from Jordan. They'll spot him. The whistle's blew about 1.5 yards shy of the line to gain. It'll be third down.
David, you talk about that passing game. You know, now I can walk those safeties down into the box, and you know, I can manipulate coverage a little bit because I don't think on the outside that you're really a threat to me, and that's really, you know, what Kentucky defensively has been able to do. I thought Louisville was able to hit him with a couple outside zone type plays, but as far as passing, they have not been able to get anything going.
Third down and about a yard. Will stay on the ground, and they will have the first down at the 36-yard line. Trevin Wallace coming up to make the play for Kentucky. 5 tackles for Trevin. This Kentucky defense giving up just 321 yards a game of yardage. That is 3rd in the league, top 20 in the country. Doman's pass is caught out there in the flat. That'll be a first down. Going for Marshawn Ford. Boy, Ford is just a monster out there at tight end. He now has 125 career catches, over 1,500 yards.
Physical player too. You look at him going 6'2", 240 across the board. Moves well for tight end that big.
Doman trying to come near side, does so. Here's Turner. Tries to stop on a dime, but is wrestled to the turf. Kedron Smith making the tackle.
See right here at the end, you see Smith kind of sling him down, threw him out of bounds.
Kentucky had 9 penalties in that first half, but none here in the second half. Out of the pistol, Doman looking to throw. That pocket collapses, backpedal. Flag comes out, pass is caught. This one will probably be coming back. There's a couple of flags right back at the UK logo. Looked like there's going to be a hold against. It looked like Isaac Martin, one of those tight ends.
Offense number 41.
Yeah, it was Isaac.
10-yard penalty, second down.
And I think the player was Jordan Wright, who was rushing off of the edge. Take another look at it as he's coming across. He was beat immediately, and then just Wright was able to get to the outside, and you can see him just pulling at him and take away good yardage as far as play was concerned.
Second down and 16. Little delay handoff. There goes Jordan. Gets hit at the 43 and pushed back there, and another tackle by Zion Childress. Zion got his first start of the year last week against Georgia. Agent, who was starting, now with an injury last week, allowing hole number 11 to get the start. Played well. Had 9 tackles against the Bulldogs. That's 5 today. Handoff right side. Oh, big hit on the edge. No gain on the play. And Kedron Smith with 2 big collisions here on this drive. And flags come out again.
Is it the first guy or the second? Because the officials was right there on top of it.
It's fourth down. After the play, personal fouls on both teams. Number 56 on the offense. Defense. Those plays were offside, offset. Fourth down.
There's some pushing and shoving. We've had it really since the opening kickoff. So 4th down and 3.5. Cards, of course, going for it. Down 26-7. Yeah, I think Kentucky wants a timeout. So 7:59 to go in this one. Cardinals going for it on 4th down when we come back.
SEC Network Football is presented by Allstate, reminding you that football season is mayhem.
Boy, it has been mayhem today for this Louisville offense. Kentucky's just swarmed him. It didn't matter if it was Doman or Cunningham at quarterback. They have just had a tough time. And for back-to-back weeks, Kentucky is looking legit. Remember, they held Georgia to season low, 16 points, 363 yards. Today, you see some of those numbers that, as we stand here right now, Louisville just 209 total yards and just 7 points on the board. And they're going for it on 4th and 3. 4-man rush, quick throw, pass is caught, 1st down and more to the 30, down to the 29-yard line. Nice throw by Doman to hit Tyler Hudson for the 1st down. Drive stays alive after a 12-yard gain.
You talked about it, just a nice hitch route there, and they had to pass it off Kentucky defensively, and the pass is on time and on target by Doman.
Off the right side goes Jawar Jordan. Pick up 3. Tell you what, I'm becoming a bigger fan of Deion Walker every play. I mean, they've been double teaming him. He's been fighting through it. He's chasing guys down. Forces Doman out of the pocket to the end zone. Touchdown, Louisville. What a catch in the end zone by Tyler Hudson. 27 yards, twisting and turning for the 6.
This play really is off schedule. You see him trying to run a stutter like he's going, and then he sees his quarterback is in scramble mode, and you talked about it. I mean, look at the catch. Look at the ability to be able to go up high point and come down with it and still be able to score inside.
And a nice job by Doman to keep that ball in play as Louisville will line up and go for 2 here. Doman keeps it himself, tries to power to the end zone. They're going to give it the 2-point conversion. They say the ball crossed the plane of the end zone.
It's a try successful.
So 7:03 to play, and it's a 26-15 game. So they convert on a 4th and 3, and then they convert on a 27-yard touchdown pass. Doman to Hudson. Thank you, Dari. Here it's right now it stands 26-15, but there is a review going on right now on whether or not Doman got this football across the line. His knee goes down, and there is the football. And again, just the nose has to just touch the front edge of the goal line to be a successful try. And right now they are reviewing whether or not he got the 2-point conversion. Got Satterfield not happy, but well, here we go. We'll find out right now.
After further review, the runner did not break the plane of the goal line, so the point is no good.
22-13. And this is what it looked like from the get-go.
Take a look at it, and I mean, he's going in, and like you talked about, Dave, as soon as he starts to reach out, that knee hits and he is able to extend, but he was obviously down before, so.
So a little pooch kick Fielded there by Kentucky. Nice play by the Cats on special teams. There was a big gap on that side of the field. 26-13 our tally. Don't forget, Monday 7 o'clock Eastern after FAU Florida basketball. We'll have the next Thinking Out Loud with Spencer Hall and Richard Johnson. They'll break down the weekend on the gridiron, talk about the hottest topics for the coming week, and preview Saturday's biggest games. It's all right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Will Levis, 11 of 19, 188, 2 touchdowns. They have thrown for 188, rushed for 129. Handoff to Rodriguez. Wow, just so much power. Rodriguez will pick up another 20, and he's up over 100 yards.
Just inside zone, and we talked about it. You know, you have to be able to get him low so he doesn't drive out of tackles. And the defensive back there, I think that was Jones that was trying to go for the strip. And, you know, by doing so, he just allowed Rodriguez to just continue to grind out yardage.
So Chris Rodriguez now with 20 100-yard games, a new Kentucky record. Rodriguez. Boy, this is Rodriguez type of game right now, isn't it? Just hand me the football.
I mean, you talk about just a couple weeks ago, you know, for him not being able to finish, and here his quarterback falls down, his pulling lineman falls down. It doesn't matter. You know, he goes and gets 6. I mean, and so you talk about a young man that wants to finish this game. He wants to finish this game.
Rodriguez off the left side. He'll fall forward to the 40-yard line. That's a first down for the Cats, and they'll just chew up some more of this clock. 5:21, 5:20 to play.
And it's one thing when you're running the football, Dave, and a team knows you're running the football and you're still able to get 4 or 5 plus yardage, and then you look at the box. In the box alone, got about 9 people in the box alone, and now some of that is because of the design of how the offense is set up. But I mean, they're loading the box, and he's still able to produce.
Another big package offensively with 3 tight ends as they all shift to the left side. McClain hit at the line and pushed back. He'll spot his forward progress, maybe a half a yard loss on the play for McClain. So Louisville will take a timeout, stop the clock with 4:31 to play. Louisville running out of time here, 4.5 to play, down 13. And by the way, just want to give a shout out to Matt Fitzpatrick, our head linesman today, who is retiring. This is his final regular season game. 30 years as a Division I official. Came up through the Big East, now to the ACC out of Albany, New York, and was able to officiate the national title game last year. And of course, there'll be some postseason for him perhaps moving forward. So maybe another game or 2 before he wraps it up. But just want to give a shout out because these guys, it is a thankless job. And to put 30 years in, kudos to him. And have a nice football retirement, Mr. Fitzpatrick.
He'll still enjoy it. I mean, he'll still enjoy it. He may not go out there and call games on Saturdays anymore, but you can't just walk away completely.
Said Fitzpatrick, Mr. Fitzgerald, get that right. 30 years, come on. Oh, McClain just walloped right at the 40-yard line. Well, Card's still hitting hard here late in this one. This has been a different story today. Over the last 3 meetings between these clubs, Kentucky's just dominated 56-10, 45-13, 52-21, but today it's 26-13. Done is win the SEC West, and now they'll take on Georgia next week at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta for the SEC championship game. Kentucky trying to close this one out here. On a 3rd down and 10, they'll toss sweep it to McClain, and they'll be forced to kick it away here. So Louisville will take their final timeout. But Deuce, you know, as we talk about that Louisville, or excuse me, that LSU Georgia SEC championship game next week, what are your initial thoughts about that matchup?
A lot of scrimmage. I mean, I think that's where you're going to find out a lot about it. I mean, when you look at just the speed, the overall speed, team speed with Georgia defensively, that's where they present so many problems for you. And then they can hit you in so many different ways. They like to run the football. They've got playmakers at the tight end position, but they also can hit you with some of those 5-star receivers. And so, you know, it'll come down to QB play for LSU. I mean, can they pass the football down the field, and then can my quarterback be able to scramble a little bit to make some stuff happen with his legs?
Well, LSU has won 5 in a row down the stretch. In those 5 wins, they've scored 40-plus points 3 different times. Of course, they've got to wrap it up tonight against Texas A&M, 7 o'clock Eastern Time kick on ESPN, College Station. On 4th down, Cat's going to punt this one away. It is a high end-over-end kick. Nobody back there to return it, and it is down inside the 1-yard line. Doesn't get any better than that. Carrington Valentine. Oh, a Sunday hop to Valentine.
39 yards on the punt.
One of the reasons that happened, Dave, Louisville was short a guy. They were short a guy, so they didn't cover. Your returner had to come up and kind of cover the gunner, and once he did that, he probably would have caught that ball at the 10-yard line, just like you talked about taking a hop.
Yeah.
But since he was able, he had to act like he was covering the gunner that was uncovered, since Louisville was short a guy, and now you talk about having to go 99 instead of possibly just 90.
I mean, that ball sits inside the 1-yard line. Doman out of that end zone. 3-man rush. Quick hitter near side. That pass is caught by Hudson. Hudson up over 1,000 yards receiving on the season. Becomes a 7th different Louisville player in school history to accomplish that feat. They'll run it here. Big hole by Jawar Jordan out over the 30. Eric Jackson tracks him down. Louisville, no timeouts. 3:40 on the clock. Another 3-man rush. Boy, here comes a bunch of flags. You could pick it up at home of the 50,000 in the building. All screaming, holding.
Holding. Offense number 70. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
Got Satterfield still chirping on that far sideline, talking to our officiating crew. Louisville with 5 penalties for 57 yards. Kentucky 9 for 56, but none in the second half for the Cats. 1st and 20. Doman goes underneath. Not much room there. Tackled by Wallace. Braden Smith makes the catch. Pass caught near side by Turner. He gets out of bounds at the 35, so it'll be 3rd down and about 8 coming up now for Louisville.
And Kentucky getting a lot of pressure with just a 3-man rush, and able to sub a couple of those guys out. making the quarterback really have to work in the pocket and climb up in the pocket and keep his eyes down the field.
Four-man rush. Doman. Pass is caught near midfield, first down for the Cards. There's Tyler Hudson again. Hudson now with 6 catches on 11 targets for 83 yards. That's a 17-yard gain. Those are the ones that Louisville at this point can't really afford as the clock continues to run.
And at the pass, you only get 2 yards, but you're almost better off just dropping it. So the clock stops for you.
The Cards came in here having won 5 of their last 6. Beat NC State last weekend, 25-10. That one is high and picked off at the 20-yard line after a deflection. Jordan Lovett still on his feet to midfield and dropped at the 45 of Louisville. Lovett had his first interception last week. Give him 2 now.
He's just playing that middle field safety, and that ball gets tipped up, and he's able to come across. They're just trying to throw a seam route right there, and he's able just to catch it off of the tip as far as the ricochet is concerned, and does a nice job as far as the return also. Has to protect the football a little bit better, but nice return.
And that will do it as Kentucky will line up in the victory formation. And for the 4th consecutive year, they will take down this Louisville team. For a team that down the stretch had lost 3 of their last 4 and 5 of their last 7. They were looking for something positive, and they got it today. A heck of a defensive performance by this Kentucky team.
Well, the defense gave them the short field twice. You know, one time they were able to score a touchdown, and the other time they were able to kick a field goal. But, I mean, defensively, they came out and they were on fire, regardless of who was at quarterback.
Create 3 turnovers, 4 sacks today. And Will Levis will wrap up his Kentucky regular season with a victory to go to 17-7 as a starter for the Cats. Didn't need a lot from Will today, 11 of 19, 188, but they got a bunch from Chris Rodriguez, who picked up 120 yards on the ground for his 20th career 100-yard rushing game. And that'll do it. The Cats will win for the 7th time in 2022. Both teams will finish up 7-5 on the year as Coach Stoops will go shake hands with Coach Satterfield, and they will now wait a week to figure out where their bowl assignment will place them. That is 20 straight wins versus non-conference opponents for Kentucky. The longest active streak going in the FBS right now, but Chris Rodriguez, his career here in Lexington coming to a close as well as he wraps up this regular season. Will Levis battled through injuries all season long and picks up back-to-back wins against Louisville in this rivalry game. So the Governor's Cup trophy staying right here in Lexington for the 4th consecutive year. Let's go down to Andrea.
Coach, you talked about how it's been an up and down season, and you finished the regular season with a win in the Governor's Cup. How did you all create separation and get the win today?
It was a hard-fought game. We knew it would be. Louisville's really playing good football, and we needed to respond and just play better and worry about ourselves. And really proud of our team because it's been a tough year, but it is for everybody. You know, there's a lot of ups and downs, and I like the way we responded. You know, would like to have a few more wins like most people, but they fought hard here tonight.
We have to talk about your defense, Coach. 2 interceptions, a fumble recovery, the sacks. How would you describe the energy of that unit?
Really solid, you know, really good. I love their competitive spirit. They did, the same way the last couple weeks. I just like how hard they played. A lot of good things will happen when you play that hard. We had a lot of penalties early, but we overcame them, and the guys, again, played with that passion and heart and toughness that we're looking for.
Chris Rodriguez sets a record with his 20th 100-yard game. How would you describe his power on the ground?
Just amazing, just, really tough. He's in here, right here. Just some of those runs at the end were just truly amazing. The 4-minute offense and the way he grinds out some tough yards we needed it, and really proud of him, and I love him.
So thank you, Coach.
Well, Chris, since you're here, I might as well chat with you. I don't know if you know this, but you set a record for the 20th 100-yard game in Kentucky football history. How have you been able to operate that way so effectively?
Well, all I got to say is, shout out to my seniors, but more specifically the O-line. They believed in me. Coach Skang believed in me. We came out every day and worked, and we all came together.
In this matchup against Louisville, it's obviously a rivalry, a very intense one, a lot of chippiness on the field. How were you and your teammates able to get the win today?
Coach, he challenged us. Stay composed. We knew they were going to come out chippy. Just stay composed and play our game. Don't stoop down to anybody, but just play like we know how to play. And we came out and did it.
I want to keep chatting with you, but they were taking this senior photo, and I know you want to get in on the celebration. Yeah. Congrats.
Thank you.
Most valuable player. Congratulations to the Kentucky Wildcats.
Well, Chris Rodriguez and company and Will Levis, they pick up the win. It was a team effort today, and the Cats finish up 7-5 in the regular season. So for Dari, Andrea, the rest of our crew, I'm Dave Neal saying so long from Lexington.